Yo, what's going on, guys? Wherever you are. Today we are ranking Star Wars movies and shows because Andor season 2 came out and I thought it would be nice to redo this tier list after like a year. So we're starting with the Clone Wars, the OG. Also remember to like, subscribe, notification bell, and go to my Instagram and TikTok in the description. Anyway, that's it. Clone Wars. The original, I'd say it's a solid A tier. I don't think it's an S tier because from an action standpoint, it's great and everything. But from a storytelling standpoint, it's like, just like your normal kid show. It's not like anything crazy, but it's cool. I mean, this is where we saw a lot of things here. We saw Grievous in his like full power, first like Asajj appearance. We saw Anakin get his like his break. It's so cool. There's so much to like about the show. It's great. The OG Star Wars: A New Hope. I think it's a great movie, honestly. It's the first movie. It's a good hero or nobody to hero story. Luke finds out who he is. I mean, he saves the princess with a little group of people, a smuggler, a Wookiee, a Jedi master, and then like two droids. They save the princess. They get off. They blow up the Death Star. It's cool. It's good. It's like perfect. I don't think there's any part that's too slow. The Empire Strike Back. Ooh, that's S tier. Yeah. And I think everybody can agree with me this. It's just hard not to say. It's so perfect. Especially when I was watching as a kid. I watched them like in order of release. And hearing I Am Your Father like shocked me as a kid. I'm like, oh my god. That's his father? I was astounded. And then it was just it was great. I mean, Cloud City was so cool. The part where Han gets carbo freeze, carbonated. I don't know how you say it. How it's pronounced. The Hoth is super cool with the AT-ATs and then like the speeders. It's so good. There's not a single point in this movie where I'm like, eh. Maybe a bit in the cave, like inside. It was a bit boring, but other than that, it was great. Next, Return of the Jedi. I think this is A tier. I think it is the perfect ending. Is the perfect ending to the trilogy, I'll say. I think my complaints mostly, it's not even complaints, it's just it's not as good as Empire Strikes Back. It does everything fine. It does everything well. Just not as well as the Empire Strikes Back. But it's good. You have the opening scene. You have Leia going to rescue Han. You have the Cole Cruise ship. You got the Rancor. It's super cool. And then you go on to like Andor and all that stuff. It's cool. I will say the point between them going on Andor and then the whole like Jabba rescue thing is a bit blurry for me, which I think would be my only problem with the movie, that I can't remember much in between. But it was overall pretty good, I'd say. And then the ending was like perfect. Alright. Next, we got The Mandalorian. Now, I would put this at great, but kind of like a not a dishonor or an honorable, both dishonorable and honorable A. Because the first two seasons, I think, are like S, A tier. But then the third season is like C tier, D tier. The first two seasons are great. I mean, it's just him doing bounty hunting. You got some story in there, some meat, some juicy fat to like chew on with the story. Got Grogu and him being a Jedi. You got like just the Mandalorian and stuff. But then the problem comes in season 3 when it wasn't even a Mando show anymore. It was what's her name? The other lady. It was like her show, which she should have had her own show if she wanted that. If they wanted that. But like it's just also not the best. Like the action's okay. Things just kind of flow into each other with like no consequences. There was that whole episode of like the separatists, like the person who loves the separatists and these separatists like truists, and that goes nowhere. That's just introduced as a thing and concept never brought back in the series. They all kind of just, for some reason, the Mandalorians were like very brought upon by tradition. Just don't actually listen to tradition when it comes to the saber. What's it called? The Star Saber, the Black Saber, Dark Saber. That's what's called. It's just really weird. She beats one person duel and they all start following. It's just not good, I have to say. Book of Boba Fett's just bad. Um, if I had to say anything, as like the Tuscan parts are good, but they also aren't needed. I'll say, like genuinely. I mean, it's cool the Tuscan parts. Like, if that was its own show, I'd be like, oh, it's a cool show of a dude going Tuscans. But then it's Boba Fett, and it's a show about Boba Fett, and you're trying to be a cool bounty hunter. Instead, there's Tuscans and him being like taking over the Jabba's position. And it's also kind of weird that Jabba's position was just vacant for long enough for him to like be that old by then. Like, I guess we never saw him under a mask before, but it's just weird that Jabba's position was just vacant for that long. And, like, nobody was trying to challenge it. It's just weird. The action choreography was not good. The speeder chase, everyone knows about that. I will say this. The Mandalorian episode that was stuck in the middle of Book of Boba Fett, I think is a really good episode. Like, it's amazing. But, you know, the Book of Boba Fett's not good. Ahsoka. I think it's alright. I think the two villains, I forget their names, but the two Sith, they were pretty cool. It's just Sabine Wren and Ahsoka's story is not the best. Like, Sabine should have never used the Force. Like, I know she's like, oh, but technically she trained with, like, the saber, but she trained with the dark saber to learn how to use that. Because, you know, she was a Mandalorian, that was her whole thing. Like, the dark saber is the leader. And then, it was just weird. Also, the logic was really weird. Like, you're telling me that she just got, like, stabbed through the chest from a saber and survived. Back when that happened to Qui-Gon, he got, like, one-shotted by a single stab. And now Sabine can just, like, survive that. It's just really weird how that happens. There's a lot of, like, weird choreography and action moments. I'd say seeing Thrawn and Ezra again was really cool, especially in live action. Also, my biggest problem is how Sabine just kind of learns the Force, kind of. I know they explained she trained a bit before, but she couldn't really get it. But, like, she's struggling this entire series, and then at the very end, she's able to do this crazy Force jump. It's just weird to me. Or not Force jump, she's able to, like, push Ezra with the Force well. Skeleton Crew. I haven't watched this show, so I'm not gonna rate it. Resistance, I did not like this show. This show's bad. It's just, like, nothing. I'll say this, though. The designs for the First Order Troopers are really cool. But that's not saying much because all the trooper designs are really cool. The Force Awakens, it's good. It was a nice movie for the first the return. I remember seeing this in theaters. I think this was the first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters because the first one actually released in theaters while I was alive. It was cool. I liked it at the time. I thought Finn was gonna be a cool Jedi. My complaint was Han and Leia. It was weird that they're divorced and stuff. But overall, it was an alright movie. But sadly, it was ruined by the sequels, including the sequels to it. The Last Jedi is bad. It's bad. It's not even deserved this tier. I need to make a new tier. I mean, there should have been one in my case, but we're doing this. Yeah, F tier. This movie messes up everything that the first movie sets for it. First of all, Finn is now thrown to the side because he just doesn't matter anymore. Apparently, despite being like the main character of the first movie. Like, so that's just thrown away. Poe had a really good scene in the beginning, only to suck later. And in the entire movie, they're just berating on Poe because it's like, oh, trust the Admiral, trust the Admiral. She tells him nothing. They're just evacuating. It's like, they're just like running, and he thinks they're gonna do anything. She's like, well, I want to know the plan. She's like, you don't need to know. I know the plan. It's like, what do you mean? He's justified for doing a coup d'état. Like, you are doing nothing. You're not telling anyone your plan. You're just going with it. It's terrible. And, like, the Force, how Leia uses it is, like, really dumb. Really, really dumb. She pulls herself to the ship. That's not how it works. Also, they're moving through space at, like, hyper speed. So there's no way she'd still even be close to the ship after, like, a second. It's just terrible. And it's the scene between Finn and Phasma is terrible. Rey and... they've ruined Luke. Luke, who wouldn't even give up on, like, a evil, warmongering Sith Lord who killed millions, killed younglings, gives up on his nephew after one vision. It's just, there's so much potential. Rey could have been like, oh, I have another friend. His name's Finn. I think he has potential to be Jedi. I don't know. They could have put Poe in, like, a bigger thing, where it's like, well, Poe listened to her, where she's like, oh, I have this plan. He's like, but what if it doesn't work? Blah, blah. And it's them arguing. Him and Holdo, like, oh, well, I can see both sides. She wants to do this because she thinks it'll work, but Poe's resistant because he doesn't know if it's going to work and what if it messes up. And then, like, Phasma was a wasted villain. Luke should have not been like how he is. Maybe the temple was burnt down and Kylo Ren did it, and then he was like, and he felt betrayed, but also felt like he wasn't in tune with the Force enough. So he goes on the island. He only refuses to train Rey at first because he thinks he's not good enough yet, and that he's failed previously, and he has to master the Force again to do it. That's how it should have been. There are more things that would change, like Rose's terrible character, but like genuinely. And the Rise of Skywalker's F tier. There's so much wrong with this movie. They fly now? They fly now? That's like one of my favorite quotes of all time because it's so terrible. Or somehow Palpatine returned. Um, Basically the entire movie. I'll say this. I actually do want to give credit to these two movies. Visually, they look good. Like, I think my favorite thing in all of the entire, like, Star Wars visually is the speeders in Last Jedi at the end. That's cool. Visually, these movies look good. But also, I Am the Spy, after 2 movies before, he killed an entire solar system worth of people. Yeah, great writing. The dagger. Everyone knows about everything after the movie. They're so wrong. It's just so stupid. And then, that's the first movie we ever see Rey, Poe, and Finn in a room together. I actually think it's the first movie where we ever see Poe and Rey in a scene together, and they act like they've been friends forever. It's so weird. It's just so weird. And also, Rey's apparently this master pilot better than Poe, even though that was his whole point. Like, there's just so much wrong with it. Anyway, episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This movie, a lot of people like to say is good. I think it's alright. All the, Anakin stuff with, like, Padme is really bad. Like, all dialogue sucks. It's not fun or interesting. It's boring. I will say, like, on Tatooine, it's pretty cool, but, like, everything on Naboo, I was bored. And, like, the droid factory was pretty bored during most of it. All the Obi-Wan stuff is great, though. Like, it is great. Him just being a detective, Jango Fett, him finding about the Camino of clones, that was cool. It's just that I think the Anakin Padme stuff weighs us down heavy. I also love, like, the Final Fight and Geonosis, but I do think it's funny. Jedi Coleman Trevor goes to fight Count Dooku. His saber form is perfectly mastered. He's a Jedi Master, by the way, and his saber form is meant to deflect blaster shots. If he gets killed by one man with a blaster, Jango Fett just sitting there and blasting. It's like, I thought this was your specialty. R.I.P. Coleman Trevor. Anyway, not sure what just Star Wars is. But anyways, the Clone Wars movie, D tier. It was just not good. Ahsoka was annoying. The little Jabba dude was terrible. There's just a lot wrong. It was just pretty boring. I'll say the duels were actually pretty alright. But anyways, the Clone Wars shows that year. Oh my god. The Umbar arc I'll never stop talking about the arc. That's one of my favorite arcs in all TV history, maybe my favorite. The first 2 seasons are really weird because they're definitely more of like a kid's younger show. But at 3rd season, everything gets like really serious and dark, which is crazy. It was just really good. All the voice acting was great. The fights were all very well like made. The plot was great. There was so much like lore wrapped in. And it's just great. And then that final season released years later, finally wrap it all up, was perfect. Oh my god, this show's just great. Revenge of the Sith. This is my favorite movie of all time. There's just so much to love about this movie. The opening Coruscant scene. Anakin's slow, like, turn to the dark side through Palpatine manipulating him. Just like, it shows even more ignorance of the Jedi Council in that the Jedi Council is letting the Sith go up because they are being ignorant and not sticking to the Jedi Code. It's just great. That final duel between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and your exchange of words at the end in the lava is just great. There's just so much emotion. The actors are great. I feel like there's never a boring part in this movie, because for every talking part with Anakin, there's an action part with Obi-Wan. For every action part With Obi-Wan, there's a talking, or I already said that, but you know what I mean. Like, it's just great. It's, oh my god. Kenobi. Kenobi, I'll say, is an alright show. It's wasted potential, but I think the reason it ended up so bad is mainly because it was supposed to be a movie turned into and it was turned into a show. Same with Boba Fett. Kathleen Kennedy did what she did best and said, "No, I want a show instead." But you could tell like the makings of a good show was there. Reva sucked the entire time. She was so annoying. But Obi-Wan, Leia was a bit annoying. The actor in real life was actually really annoying. She said Star Wars doesn't have any cool female characters or anybody focused on them when we've had like a bunch of movies, entire trilogy, everything based on female characters. So I don't know what that actor's yapping about. But and people like a lot of these female characters too. I love Ahsoka. She's a great character. But anyways, like there the makings. The whole Obi-Wan Vader thing was great. It was just the Leia stuff was bad, especially because the whole point of the whole point of Obi-Wan being on Tatooine was to protect Luke, and he just kind of left. Obi-Wan's kind of a bum now, which is all right. I'll say it kind of makes sense. He's getting more into the Force later, but it's just not the best. Rebels. Rebels is a great show. I say the only thing holding it back is the CGI of the first two seasons, or like the look of it. Especially season one. Season one at the beginning looked horrendous, but even then, the show itself had amazing like plot and everything. Like I love Kanan teaching Ezra to slowly become a Jedi, in like him learning, especially because the whole point is Kanan doesn't think he's worthy, and he has to prove to himself that he is worthy of teaching Ezra. So he has to teach Ezra while teaching himself how to be a better master. All the characters are great. Sabine's great in the show. Zeb is amazing, especially with the what's his name, the IBS agent. Their dynamics great. I mean, it's just great. And Chopper's my glorious king. I actually have the Lego UCS Chopper set, or Chopper built. It's a bit off screen that way, but it's great. No, this show's great. And Darth Maul and everything was so good. Andor. Oh, oh, oh my god. It's great. S tier. Both season 1 and season 2 were like perfect. I couldn't even complain about them. It's the slow descent of Cassian Andor, and it makes Rogue One so much sadder. It really does. He was just a man trying to fight for rebellion, and then the fact that what's her face is probably waiting for him, not knowing that he was already dead, is really sad. And just everything was great. The sets, like everything, the cinematography. This is how you do Star Wars. We don't need Jedi. I don't know why they haven't learned this yet, Kathleen Kennedy, like whoever's the executives. We don't need Jedi. Like, or we don't even need lightsabers, because they have an obsession with lightsabers in Jedi. Mandalorian, they couldn't help but introduce the dark saber. I mean, it makes sense, but still. Andor was great, but they couldn't help but put a Jedi in everything. Like, or like a saber and everything. We don't need more. We just want good stuff. Rogue One. Rogue One is S tier. It's great. I think it's probably like the best written Star Wars movie. I like the Empire Strikes Back and Revenge of the Sith better, but this is the best written. I mean, all the characters are great. It's a group of like rebels. They're kind of like misfit rebels, just trying to get the Death Star plans to destroy Death Star, and it's great. I mean, Jyn Erso is a great character. You have Andor. You have the the droid's name, K2, I want to say. It's so masterful. All the battle on Scarif is great, and it's just so great. And I love the way the blind guy, he's trying to I want the Force with me. He may not be a Jedi, but he's still a proud believer in the Force. Episode 1 is B tier. I'll be honest, is B tier. The politics stuff isn't as boring as remember, but like the movie only goes down for a bit. Because think about it. You start with a great opening scene. You have the Gungan stuff, it's a bit boring. Then you have the escape from a palace, which is exciting. A bit of boring stuff on Tatooine. The Anakin actor, of course, is not good. But then you have pod racing, that was great. And then you get to Coruscant, you do a bit of boring politics stuff. But then you have the back to the raid on Naboo, trying to get to the castle back, taking it back over. That's great. Duel of Fates is great. But then the starship scene of Kid Anakin is not so great. But like, it is generally a good movie. Like, it's solid. in all around. The only thing I'd say is that there are some boring parts, but the choreography is great. All the actors do the great job, except Anakin, but he's also just a kid. I felt bad for his kid that he was getting set threats and all that stuff. It's just great. The Acolyte is the biggest wasted potential in all of Star Wars. I think it's F tier. Well, I'll put D tier because the one thing I'll say about the Acolyte, whoever was doing the like choreography for the fight scenes was great. Like they genuinely went out of their like those fight scenes were really good, like amazing actually, probably the best in the series, if not the best. Like they did great job. And then the what's the villain's name? The you know what I'm talking about? The dude with the smile mask. He was a great villain, like genuinely. It's just that the two like main characters just had like terrible writing. 1 second they are good, 1 second they're evil. She kills her master because of because she finds out something that he did years ago, even though she's been training for him years. Instead of being conflicted, she just says, "Nah, I'll just kill him." Turns to the dark side because of basically she was slightly angry. Her saber bleeds because she was angry. That's not how bleeding a saber works. I mean, it doesn't just happen instantly. You gotta pour your rage into it. She didn't even pour her rage into it. It kind of just happened. Like it's wasted potential. And also, Kiara just makes him worse too, because now we know he was there back then and aware of the Sith. It's just, it's dumb. The story's dumb. They break a lot of canon stuff, and then even just the story itself is stupid. Like they're good, they're evil, and also the power to one, the power two, the power many was so dumb. You could have just said, hey, these were two people with a high midichlorian count that are part of this witch gang, and then the Jedi were concerned that these two individuals had such a high midichlorian count. Because Anakin has a high midichlorian count, like he has the highest, but there's also still some other like Force users with high midichlorian counts that aren't as high and as powerful, but are still high. That could be easily explained, being like, oh, they have a really high midichlorian count. They were like highest at the time, maybe you could say, and that's why they were scared of them having them. That would have been all right. But instead, no, they had to make them from a ritual. Yeah, it just sucks. Solo. Solo's a good movie. I'll stand by it. It's a fun heist type movie. I mean, the opening scene I love is pretty fun with the speeder chase. I do think the Han Solo thing was really dumb but really funny, of him getting his name from the Imperial thing. I love like how we see that if you're not a stormtrooper, you're just some like low-level Imperial soldier fighting in a horrendous war with Han. I mean, you have Han and Chewie escaping. You have them joining up with other people, becoming these like coming first. The origin of Han becoming a smuggler. You get the Kessel Run. That's pretty cool. It's just a fun movie. Something great. And also Donald Glover, aka Charles Gambino, he actually played his role as Lando perfectly. Like genuinely. Like it's hard to replace an actor, but he did an amazing, impeccable job. And also, I think this movie implies that Lando gets freaky with a droid canonically. Anyway, The Bad Batch is the final number 8. A tier. I think my problem. Season 3 is amazing, and probably second half of season 2. But my problem with The Bad Batch for season 1 and season 2, especially season 1, is like half the episodes for a while just kind of feel like nothing happens, if that makes sense. It's, oh, they go on an adventure, they meet so-and-so character, either new or old, they do this for them, they leave. And sometimes it even pay off. Like nothing happens from that journey. Just like, oh, a bit of team bonding between Omega and them, whoever. That's like my main problem. But like season 2 and season 3 is way better. The opening of season 1 is great. The ending of season 1 is great. The opening of season 2 is alright. The ending of season 2 is great. And then all season 3 is like perfect. Like genuinely. If they like didn't have the weird like one-off episodes, kind of like Monster of the Week episode, I'm gonna call them. That I don't know the other name for them, but like episode of the week, I think it would have been better. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bro, like, subscribe, notification bell, and this was my Star Wars movie and show tier list. Remember, you're entirely your own opinion. Bye bye.